Welcome to the Botany Bistro, where we're serving up bite-sized botany for you to munch on as you savor the science of plants. My name's Mary, and I'll be your botanist today. Our menu includes an exploration of plants in the Lamiaceae family. It's a little bit of a wet day, but I'm definitely happy to be bringing you this bistro from the wonderful herb garden at the Civic Garden Center. We're surrounded by plants in the Lamiaceae when we're sitting in this garden. Many of our herb gardens wouldn't be the same without the Lamiaceae, which you also might know as the mint family. There are many more plants than just mints in this family, though, with about 7,000 different species included in the family. Many of these species can be used for culinary treats, medicines, aromatherapy, you name it. This very aromatic group of plants has found its way into our kitchens and gardens for many generations. I'm sitting next to a wonderful variety of different sages in this garden, and if I am able to locate a stem, I can see that this stem has 4 distinct sides. When I roll it in my fingers, I can feel those edges. These stems really are like little squares. Not every plant in this family has square stems, but quite a few of them do. So this is a great way to identify plants in this family. You'll also notice that most plants in the Lamiaceae family are opposite branching, which means that they have leaves that come out directly opposite each other on that square stem. This characteristic is a great way to start with this family and think, I wonder what else it could be hiding, because most plants in this family are also very aromatic. They have a high amount of volatile oils that can be released when crushed or cooked. This sage is no exception. I am definitely getting some very strong smells, even in our rainy day today. And I'm excited to share some more about the plants in this family with you. Plants in the Lamiaceae have very characteristic flowers. The flowers of plants in the Lamiaceae tend to be zygomorphic, which means that they're bilaterally symmetrical. So you could split them in half and they would be symmetrical on either side. They are a collection of petals that have been fused at the base, which forms kind of a tube structure. This also gives them a very clearly defined upper lip and lower lip. And so in addition to those square stems, that nice aromatic fragrance, these flowers are a good sign that those plants are in the Lamiaceae family. Plants in this family are not just valued for their scent, but they also provide medicinal benefits, which is why so many people have used them for generations. We're going to have a little bit of a sip of some Lamiaceae plants a little bit later in the bistro. It's also important to note that before you eat any herbs, you should consult an herbal practitioner to make sure that you are not going to have any kind of contraindications with any current medicines you're on, or if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. The namesake for this family, the mints, definitely have quite a following. There are so many different kinds of mint. Just going to your local nursery, you should be able to find a few different varieties. We use mints for mojitos. We like to have mint in our toothpaste flavorings. I enjoy mint tea as a wonderful pick-me-up, a little boost when I'm feeling a little draggy in the afternoon. While we do enjoy mints and all the benefits that they provide, it is important to note that these plants can be quite aggressive in your garden. And so when planting mint, it's a good idea to have them in containers or enclosed in some way. Many of the beds here in our herb garden have their own definitions, and so we can keep these Lamiaceae plants where they belong. Humans aren't the only ones that appreciate plants in the Lamiaceae. Monarda is also in this plant family, and it is a favorite for hummingbirds and butterflies. Often known as bee balm, there are different kinds of Monarda that you can include in your garden, and they do very well in the Ohio landscape. I can't imagine being able to produce much without the wonderful help of basils. There are so many different kinds of basil to explore as well, but definitely when I'm cooking up a pasta sauce or I'm trying to make our homemade pizza really stand out, I'm looking for some unique basil options. This basil plant is also in the Lamiaceae family. Hyssop, thyme, oregano, rosemary, lavender, the list goes on and on. Some of your favorite herbs are very likely in this family, And so we're very grateful that they are packing a punch with their aromatic oils so that we can use them in many different aspects of our lives. A mint that you might want to try in your garden that actually is fairly well behaved is mountain mint. There are several different varieties of mountain mint, but this mint, which is native to North America, grows a little bit taller than other types of mint, but doesn't have such a sprawling habit. It actually stays more in a clump form. Also, the seed heads on these mints are wonderful to keep on your plants all through the winter. And whenever I pass by a little sprig of mountain mint, I have that wonderful rush of scent, and it's very invigorating, especially when there's not a lot else out. So definitely get your hands on some mountain mint and give it a try. An indoor favorite that you might be familiar with is coleus. Coleus has those characteristic square stems, those opposite branching leaves, and it doesn't have quite as strong of a scent as some of the other plants in the Lamiaceae family, but it is very vibrant and colorful. You can find lots of different varieties of coleus at your garden center. Since we're here in our herb garden, it's a great time to make some tea, especially on a rainy day like this. Who wouldn't want to be cozied up with a nice book and a hot cup of tea? So I actually wanted to get a little bit adventurous, and I went and picked out some unique varieties of plants in the Lamiaceae so that we could have a little taste. I have this lime basil, and also this strawberry mint, which was a new one for me this year, and I was very excited to pick it up at Wildwood Flora. It does have a very unique scent, and with this basil and this mint, I'm going to add in a little bit of lemon balm. Lemon balm grows very well in my garden. Too well, perhaps. Sometimes I am taking it out of places that it shouldn't be because it can grow aggressively like other members of the mint family. But I combined these three together and I have made a little tea. When you're making herbal tea, you want to make sure that you're harvesting from the freshest part of the plants. You don't want to take leaves that look like they've been damaged or if they have brown spots on them. You want to take leaves that are nice and fresh and have a really healthy green color to them. You also want to make sure that you're never using plants that have been sprayed with any kind of chemicals so that you're not ingesting something that would be bad for you. So just before I sat down to film the bistro, I went ahead and put a lot of these different leaves inside my mug here. It's nice and warm. It smells wonderful. After about 5 minutes, I like to remove the leaves out of my herbal tea so that I don't get a tea that turns very bitter. Some of our herbal teas definitely benefit from a little sweetener, and I like to use maple syrup or some local honey in mine, maybe some stevia leaves to give it a little bit of a sweet taste. This tea I haven't tried before, so we'll see if it needs any additions, but I think that it's going to be delightful. It's even got some fresh rain in here. It's very good. That strawberry mint really comes through. That basil is very strong as well. Maybe next time a little less basil, a little bit more mint. Some of these plants will be annuals in your garden, but others are perennial. And so we can count on them to come back year after year and really give us those ingredients that we like for our sauces and for our sachets. When planting plants from the Lamiaceae family, you do want to pay close attention to where they are from. For example, some of these plants tend to be a little bit more Mediterranean in their native landscape, and so they would prefer to be drier. Other plants can handle quite a bit of water, but you still want to be cautious that you're not having water sit on the leaves, as that can damage the leaves and sometimes cause fungus. If you're interested in planting a lot of different herbs in your garden, you might want to consider an herb spiral. This is a way that you can elevate the plants so that the drier ones can be at the top, and then they can drain a little bit quicker so that the ones at the bottom are the ones that are soaked a little bit longer. This is a popular way to display herbs. You could also do them in hydroponic jars, or you could have them in hanging baskets. growing herbs is a wonderful choice for people who don't have a lot of direct sunlight, because the part of the herb that we're interested in harvesting is the leaf. And so we don't have to have a significant amount of sunlight in order to have a flower or fruit be produced. And so I really enjoy herbs year round. Thanks for coming out on a rainy day to enjoy the Botany Bistro. Stay tuned for more Bistro to Go.